everybody, to today's broadcast of Channel Islands Live. My name is Kelly Moore, and I am a park ranger here at Channel Islands National Park, and I'm excited to get to show you all the portion of Channel Islands National Park that not many visitors get to see. So I'd like to start by welcoming our audience today. Everybody in Ventura there, I know we have a great group of junior lifeguards in our auditorium at the Visitor Center. On three, can I get a great big hello? Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I heard you loud and clear. Thank you. We also have some viewers who've tuned in over the internet, and I'd like to welcome all of those viewers as well. Welcome everybody to Channel Islands Live today. So, in today's program, we will talk a little bit about this forest underwater where we are scuba diving today. We will get to meet some critters that rely on this ecosystem for survival. I have a team of divers down here with me who've gone out ahead of time and collected some critters to show you in today's program. So we'll meet those. And then in the end, we'll have a quick discussion about ways that you and I can help protect this ecosystem and care for it so future generations can enjoy it as we are today on this Wednesday morning. So, let's get started. And as I said, we're diving in a forest. We're diving underwater out around Anacapa Island, which is one of the 5 islands in Channel Islands National Park. And this is an incredible forest underwater. All right, junior lifeguards, I know you are familiar with this forest. You all have learned a lot about the ocean and will continue to as part of your junior lifeguard program. So let's hear it. Shout it out. What type of forest are we diving in today? Good. I heard kelp forest. Excellent. Yes, and giant kelp is the main seaweed in this forest. There's one behind me. And giant kelp is an algae, or a seaweed, very well adapted to living in this marine environment. It has these bendable or flexible parts we call stipes, which allow the kelp plant to move around with the motion of the water. It has these air-filled bladders here, and I'll let Josh, my cameraman, kind of zoom in so you can get a better look. These air-filled bladders serve a very important purpose. It helps buoy the kelp up towards the surface. They act a lot like balloons because something is shining down from up above that this seaweed needs to survive. Does anybody in Ventura know what is shining down? Go ahead and shout it out if you know it. The sun. Good. The sunlight. You guys are 3 for 3 on your questions. I'm going to have to start asking some harder ones now. Yeah, the sunlight. And this kelp, this seaweed needs sunlight to undergo a process to produce energy for itself to grow. Now, there maybe is a more advanced question. Does anybody know what process I'm referring to? Process?
Sorry, Kelly, we had a little glitch, so we're asking the question now.
Okay.
Photosynthesis.
Excellent answer. Good. Gosh, I'm going to even have to get more tricky with my questions. Yeah. Photosynthesis. And almost every cell of this entire seaweed is undergoing photosynthesis. It's taking in that sunlight, producing sugar or energy for itself to grow, and it's also producing something that you and I need to survive every day. Take a big, deep breath with me. Almost 80% of the oxygen you just inhaled came from seaweeds in our ocean. So thank you, kelp. urchin as well. So let's start swimming towards the rock there. It's trickier for my cameraman. He has to swim backwards, but I get to swim forwards towards you all. As we swim over there to try and start sharing some critters for you, I would love to take a question from our Ventura audience. Anybody have a quick question for me? Go ahead.
I'm Isadora, and I was wondering how many species are underwater in all, plants and animals?
That is such a great question. How many different types of species are down here with me? You know, a lot of scientists say there are about 1,000 different species in the kelp forest at any one time. Those can be tiny plankton, sea lions, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen, the fish, the whales, the dolphins, all of those things that rely on the kelp forest in one way or another for food, for shelter, and protection. So it's an incredible richness of life down here. Really great question, thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab an animal over here, and once it comes into the field of view, I challenge you all to shout out the name. Now, I just got to find one. I thought this would be easier. Aha! Okay, you guys. Go ahead and shout it out. What animal am I holding? Sea urchin, exactly right. This red sea urchin here feeds on kelp, the seaweed that you see around us here. Perfectly adapted for doing that. As kelp floats around in the water column, it gets stuck on these spines. And then the sea urchin uses its little tube feet, little things attached to actually the tube feet there. Maybe you can see them real well. Those tube feet take the little piece of kelp directly into its mouth parts and the underside of its body there. Very well adapted for surviving down here. And a lot of different animals, including this beauty, eat the sea urchin. There you go. Does anybody know what type of fish that is?
Sheephead.
Excellent. Boy, I'm so impressed with your knowledge of the kelp forest, you guys. Thank you for sharing all your excellent answers. Yes, the sheephead like to eat this sea urchin, but guess what? Humans also love to eat sea urchin, believe it or not. There's a type of sushi called uni that comes right here from sea urchins. And you can find it in sushi restaurants up and down California, actually. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this sea urchin back so that sheephead doesn't have a chance to get it. And as I do, I'm going to call over my dive buddy, if I can get his attention. And he has brought something to share with us today. Oh my goodness. This is Vahagen, one of my divers. Wow, okay, thanks Vahagen. Okay, you guys, what animal is this that I'm holding? A lobster, yes, the California spiny lobster. And you see, look how well it camouflages into the kelp. See, it's almost the exact same color as kelp. So it is very good at protecting itself from things that might eat it. That sheephead also would like to take a bite out of the lobster if I wasn't careful enough holding it. But this is a very special individual. As I turn her around, you're going to see all of her eggs on the underside of her tail there. Each of those individual orange dots are lobster eggs, and she can hold hundreds of thousands of eggs in there. The larger females will hold more eggs, and this one is a little bit smaller female. But you can see. She will actually protect them under her tail just like this, holding them in there until they hatch and swim away. And so this kelp forest is a very important nursery for these lobsters. They're able to feed here and find shelter and protection from predators like that in the cracks and crevices of the rocky bottom. I'm trying to protect her because I don't know where the sheep head is, but I'm going to go ahead and put her somewhere, okay? My dive buddy has done it again. He has a beautiful animal for me to show you guys. And see if I can hold it. Okay. What animal am I holding here, you guys? Shark. Do you know what kind of shark? It's a wiggly shark. What did you say?
We're hearing leopard or swell, but it looks like
one
it's
of those
giving
are
away
correct.
its name.
It's called a swell shark, and it's very unhappy to be outside of the crack that it came from. Sorry, little one. We'll put you back soon enough. They are also very great at adapting for life in the kelp forest. See how well they camouflage. They look like the rocky bottom here that all of the kelp attaches to. But they hide out in the cracks and crevices during the day and come out at night to feed on things like crabs, small fish, even sea urchins, clams. And you know, sharks are the top predators in our ocean food webs. And a really important part, I'll show you its mouth under there, a really important part of the food webs. And unfortunately, you guys have all heard of threats like overfishing and bycatch from different fisheries, and also shark fin soup, which kill a lot of these sharks worldwide. There's a lot of threats to our shark populations, and so it's really important we take care of them. This is a beautiful animal. I'm going to go ahead and give it back to my dive buddy Vahagan so he can put it back in a crack and keep it safe. Thank you. I'd love to open it up to some questions now from our audience. As Josh, maybe we can start swimming this direction, okay? Any questions there from our audience in Ventura?
How many teeth do you think it has?
Wow, I've never been asked that before. How many teeth? I would guess hundreds of teeth. And obviously, the bigger the shark, the more teeth it has. That shark was probably, in case you couldn't tell by the picture, it was probably about a 3.5-foot shark. And, you know, they get a little bit bigger than that, but not too much bigger. Great question. Anybody else have a question for me?
How many sharks do you think there are?
Oh boy. How many sharks do I think there are? Well, I know that here at the Channel Islands, there are about 17 different types of sharks, 17 different species. And in terms of how many of each species, boy, that would be a number to know. And I just can't give you that number. I wish I could, but maybe someday you guys might become shark scientists and you can help answer questions like that and do some of your own research and your own study on animals like sharks out here at the Channel Islands. There's a good challenge for you. So, talking about the threats to our shark populations brings up a good topic I'd like to end with. Worldwide, animals like the sharks, as well as many, many others, face threats. Our ocean faces threats. Both natural threats like big storms and big different ocean oceanographic temperature anomalies, things like that. But there's also a lot of human threats to our oceans. And I can think of some off the top of my head. Pollution, overfishing, which we talked a little bit about, and many others. But there are a lot of ways that you and I, as ocean stewards, meaning people who want to help take care of our oceans, there are ways you and I can help protect this place. But I'd like to ask you guys, our junior lifeguards, I know you love our oceans, what ways do you think that you and I can help protect this area, this ecosystem, our oceans? Any ideas?
Hi, my name is Celia. I think a way is not throwing trash in the ocean or just on the ground.
Excellent. That was a perfect answer. Thank you. Yeah. Let's not throw our trash on the ground. Big rains or heavy winds, all of that stuff ends up where? Right here in the ocean, right? So one great way that you and I can take our steps is just throwing away trash in the proper receptacle, in a trash can, right? Great answer. Anybody else?
My name is Lily. We could help our environment and not put like our food on the beach so people don't choke on it.
Well, nobody wants anybody to choke on food, right? Yes, that's a very important thing, is making sure that you and I are safe, right? We want to take care of our oceans, but we also want to take care of each other. Good answer. Any other thoughts there from Ventura?
How many in the ocean?
How many in the ocean? Well, right now, in terms of people, I see 3. What do you mean, how many? How many what? How many animals?
How much kelp is in the ocean?
Oh, I'm sorry. How much kelp? Well, that is also a hard number to come up with. Kelp, like this, is found all over the world on rocky reefs. And some kelp forests are pretty small, maybe just 100 yards long, but then other kelp forests can go for miles. And so it's hard to say how much kelp, and it always changes. We could have a big storm come through next week, and a lot of this kelp could get ripped up and wash ashore. So things are always changing down here, and that's what kind of makes it such an exciting place to visit, because you'll never know what you're going to see. Great questions, you guys. Josh, let's show them the final treat, which we found when we were jumping in the water first thing today, and we said, oh boy, we have to show our junior lifeguards this animal and what this animal is doing. So if you guys know the name of this fish, junior lifeguards, shout it out. Let's hear it. Yes, a Garibaldi. And what is so special about the Garibaldi?
It's our state fish.
You're absolutely right, it is. The California State Marine Fish. And that is a male Garibaldi. He is guarding his nest. You see behind him, there's thousands and thousands of baby Garibaldi eggs. A female, a few weeks ago probably, came by and deposited her eggs on his nest. And the male Garibaldi then stands guard and watches all of these eggs until they hatch. And look at him. He's protecting. He's a good protector of those eggs, making sure our cameraman doesn't get close. He will guard it with his life, all those little eggs, until they hatch out and become baby Garibaldis. Josh, if you want to point the camera just up this direction, we can show them what a Garibaldi will look like after about a year or 2. You see the little orange fish with the blue dots? That
Yeah,
is...
we can see him, Kelly.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, that's what a baby Garibaldi looks like. Just a year or two old there. You can tell with the little blue spots. Very beautiful, very colorful fish, and something that's very special to all of us here in California. It's hard to find a kelp forest without a Garibaldi in it. And in case you didn't notice, I've got orange fins. I love the color orange, so the Garibaldi is one of my very favorite fish. Well, I thank you all for joining us today for this broadcast of Channel Islands Live. I hope you learned a thing or two to take with you. And more than anything, I encourage you all to really take those steps in protecting this ocean. Becoming that ocean steward, I know, is in each and every one of you, junior lifeguards. So until we see you next time, hopefully out here at the Channel Islands, we'll say goodbye for now. Bye, everybody. See you next time.